Lisa Marie Presley lived under constant media scrutiny, but she still had secrets. It wasn't until after her unexpected death that we learned just how little we really knew about the only daughter of the king of rock and roll. When Lisa Marie Presley's ex-husband Danny Keough found her collapsed in her bedroom on January 12, 2023, it was initially thought that she'd had a cardiac arrest. However, the autopsy reports released in July 2023 revealed that while a cardiac event contributed to her death, Presley died of a small bowel obstruction. It's a condition where a blockage in the small intestine prevents what a person eats and drinks from passing through their system. It can damage gastrointestinal tissues or even perforate the bowel, causing a life-threatening infection. In Presley's case, the obstruction was caused by scar tissue resulting from bariatric surgery she'd had years before. The obstruction led to a cardiac arrest that deprived her brain of oxygen, but she was still alive when Keough found her. Once at the hospital, however, she had another fatal cardiac arrest. In addition, the autopsy revealed that her kidneys hadn't been functioning properly, allowing acid to build up in her bloodstream. Lisa Marie's premature death inevitably drew comparisons to the death of her father at 42.
Were you very close to your father?
Yes.
It was a daddy-daughter kind of thing?
Yeah, very much.
The final 12 months of Elvis's life were marked by rampant drug misuse and self-destructive behavior before his death. Of course, cardiac issues are known to be hereditary, and Lisa Marie's grandmother, Gladys Presley, also died of cardiac arrest at 46. What's more, Lisa Marie and Elvis had both been dealing with colon-related medical issues before their deaths. Medical professionals have long suspected that Elvis's heart attack may have been caused by overt physical straining due to the rock star's chronic, most likely drug-induced constipation. Both Lisa Marie and Elvis suffered from drug addiction, and both had drugs in their system when they died, although not in lethal doses.
The struggle in addiction for me started at, 45 years old.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was happening all my life.
Lisa Marie was found to have used oxycodone, among other prescription drugs, while Elvis's bloodstream contained a wide array of prescription opiates. After Lisa Marie's death, her mother Priscilla Presley revealed that her daughter had been in a dark place ever since the 2020 death by suicide of her son, Benjamin Keough. In an interview with Piers Morgan Uncensored, Priscilla shared a haunting memory of a conversation she'd had with Lisa Marie in Memphis, recalling,
She said, Mom, I don't know if I want to be here.
Lisa Marie was open about the profound impact of Ben's death. In 2022, during the last few months of her life, she wrote an essay for People in which she said, "Grief is something you will have to carry with you for the rest of your life, in spite of what certain people or our culture wants us to believe. You do not get over it. You do not move on, period."
He was the love of her life. That child, she adored him.
However, few were aware of the true depths of Lisa Marie's grief, which didn't become public until the posthumous publication of her memoir. After Ben's death, she struggled to decide where to bury him, in Hawaii or at Graceland. During that time, she'd kept her son's body in a spare bedroom at her California home, on dry ice. This is apparently not against California law, although it's thankfully not common practice. Lisa Marie writes, "I got so used to him, caring for him and keeping him there. I think it would scare the living piss out of anybody else to have their son there like that, but not me." On October 1st, 2020, Ben was buried in Graceland's meditation garden alongside his grandfather and great-grandmother. 3 years later, Lisa Marie would be laid to rest beside her son. Lisa Marie's autopsy report revealed tragic details about her final months. The weight loss surgery that eventually led to her death had taken place years before, but she was living with painful side effects until the end, including suffering from abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and fever-like sensations. While she also had cosmetic surgery during her final months and was treated for a subsequent infection, it appears she didn't seek medical help for her digestive issues. In fact, Presley didn't even tell some of her closest friends that she'd had bariatric surgery. It's unclear whether this was a factor in her decision not to seek help for her abdominal symptoms. Looking back, Priscilla recalled a joyful moment the two shared just after the Golden Globes, laughing and giggling together after tripping on their high heels while heading into the Chateau Marmont for a post-show drink.
And then we went there and sat down, and she said, Mom, I have to go. My stomach really hurts.
48 hours later, Lisa Marie was gone. Plenty of famous rock stars end up surprisingly poor, but you wouldn't expect the only child of Elvis Presley to be among them. However, at the time of her death, Lisa Marie may have been as much as $4 million in debt.
I'm not perfect. My father wasn't perfect. No one's perfect. And it's what do you do with it after you learn and then you try and help others.
The details of her financial situation began to surface in November 2022 during her custody case with ex-husband Michael Lockwood, but became more widely known after she died. Apart from the $4 million debt, Presley also owed $1 million to the IRS. She did, however, have $25 million and $10 million life insurance policies that she left to her 3 surviving children and her half-brother. But how did she accumulate so much debt? When Elvis died, 9-year-old Lisa Marie inherited his sizable fortune, and on her 25th birthday in 1993, she gained access to the entire estate. Just 11 years later, in 2004, she sold off 85% of her ownership, netting around $100 million, but she held on to Graceland, her family home. However, come 2018, she sued her business manager, claiming his mismanagement had put her $16 million in debt, while he countersued, accusing her of overspending. Whatever the truth really was, it's clear that Lisa Marie had money struggles during her lifetime. When she died, however, the gift of her life insurance policy provided financial security for those she left behind. Baz Luhrmann's 2022 biopic Elvis generated plenty of fresh interest in the Presley family, who showed up and showed out in enthusiastic support of the film. But red carpet appearances can be stressful, and Lisa Marie embarked on a rapid weight loss regimen to be camera-ready for the 2023 Golden Globes, losing as much as 50 pounds in just 6 weeks. While she kept her gastric bypass surgery a secret, Presley had previously admitted to experimenting with bad diets. By 2014, however, she told People that simple, clean living was the best fit for her, explaining, "Knowing my family history, my father's side is totally not healthy and they have shorter lifespans, while my mom's side is super fit with long lifespans. I didn't know where I would land. So I said, okay, I'm going to play it safe and try to be as healthy as I can be." Whether or not she continued to eat clean, Lisa Marie's misgivings about her weight would lead her to undergo the bariatric surgery that triggered her fatal bowel obstruction. 2 days before her death, on January 12, 2023, Lisa Marie hit the Golden Globes red carpet alongside Elvis star Austin Butler and the rest of the Presley family. Speaking to the media, she expressed her appreciation for the film and Butler's award-winning performance, and gratitude to Luhrmann for his take on her beloved father's story. Extra host Billy Bush was on the scene, and while interviewing Presley, he realized something was wrong. She was speaking very slowly and hanging on to a friend for balance.
When the interview was over, I turned to my producer next to me and said, something's off here.
Bush couldn't know that he was interviewing a dying woman, and when the news broke just 2 days later, he reflected on her ability to handle the stress of the moment in spite of her frail appearance.
She was cognizant. She was certainly with it. She was definitely there, but just a tad off in some way.
Unbeknownst to many, Lisa Marie was working on at least 2 books at the time of her death. One was a collaborative memoir with her daughter Riley Keough, who joined the project in 2022 when her mother asked her to help move things along. Keough went on to complete the project, titled From Here to the Great Unknown, a memoir, using audio tapes left behind by her mother.
When I first heard the tapes, it was incredibly emotional because it was the first time I'd heard her voice since she'd passed away.
Lisa Marie was also planning another very personal book project. Together with author and grief expert David Kessler, she was set to write a book on grief, a subject both of them knew well. After Lisa Marie's death, Kessler honored his late friend on Instagram, posting, "I met Lisa Marie after her son Ben died. She wanted to talk to me, not because I was a grief expert, but because I was someone who also had a child die. It became an improbable friendship, but that is how grief works." The book was in the early stages when Lisa Marie died, and its future remains uncertain. For the moment, Presley's 2022 essay on grief for People, which includes a link to Kessler's website, may be the closest thing to a collaboration between the pair we're going to get. If you or someone you know needs help with mental health, is struggling or in crisis, or needs help with addiction issues, contact the relevant resources. The crisis text line by texting HOME to 741-741. Call the National Alliance on Mental Illness helpline at 1-800-950-NAMI 6264, or visit the National Institute of Mental Health website. Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. Visit the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website or contact SAMHSA's National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP 4357.